Okay, compound training. Something that I have been doing now for, I'd say, the past year, year and a half, maybe 2 years. I feel for someone trying to put on size quickly, or quicker than not doing compound training, is the best form of training in the world. For me anyway. I'm not saying it's going to work with everyone, but I think it's definitely beneficial because of what you're doing. So for those of you that don't know what compound training is, I'll explain to you. Compound training is when you're using one or more muscle groups at the same time. So when I go to the gym, I can be in and out of the gym in 45 minutes to 50 minutes, sometimes an hour, in and out. And in that time, I've done my chest, my shoulders and my triceps. Now if I'm doing chest, a compound movement, which is chest, the reason that the benefits of compound training is you're not just using one muscle group. So let's just say you're doing flat barbell bench press. When you're doing this movement with your chest, it's a push-in movement. So you're also working not just your chest, you're using your triceps because you're pushing, and you're also using your front delts. Mostly your front delts, some of your side delts too, but mostly just your front. So everything on a pushing movement right there, you're using chest, shoulders, triceps. So that's a compound movement. So you don't have to spend hours in a gym, just doing chest or just doing biceps. I see guys in the gym and they'll spend an hour and a half doing several different chest exercises, and they walk out and it takes 2 weeks to recover. You just can't, well, if you're natural that is. You can't do that. So the benefits, I'm going off track here guys, so I'm getting excited. So the benefits of compound training for me personally has been the fact that I can go in, I can train chest, 2 exercises, I'll do incline barbell press, then I'll do military shoulder press, and then because I've already used my triceps in both those 2 exercises, I will then just do, say, tricep push downs, but I'll keep the weight really light and just go for the pump because my triceps are already fried anyway because I've been using them for the past 2 exercises. So that's it, I'm done. There's 3 exercises and I'm done, I'm out the gym. Rest day. And then obviously, when it comes to legs, it's different because a compound movement for legs, is always going to be the squat. That's one thing that I've always done. And with squat as a compound movement, if you think about what you're doing, the weight is above your head or in front if you're obviously doing, if you're doing the front squat. You're not only just using your legs, you're using your legs, you're using your quads, you're using your calves, you're using your glutes, you're using your hamstrings, you're using your lower back, you're using your abdominals, to some extent you're using your shoulders, obviously, because when if it's an overhead or a rear squat, it's not, the bar isn't going across the top of your neck, it's going across the top of your traps. So, you're pulling your shoulders out. Okay, you're not really using them, but to some extent, yes you are. So there's another example of a compound movement which is for legs. I'll do squats with the bar over my head, and then I'll do front squats, and then I'll work my calves. And I'll do that in less than an hour, and it's done. Just really heavy, full range of motion squats. So there's legs. Now, another compound movement, which is your pulling exercises, which is obviously your back and your biceps. So for example, if you think about when you're doing a barbell bent over row, if you're using the underhand grip, when you're bent, let me show you. I can get the camera. There we go. If you think about it, when you're bent over here like so, and you've got the underhand grip, it's biceps because it's a pulling movement. You see what I mean? You're actually pulling the bar up like so. So it's not only you're using your biceps, there's your back exercise as well. You're pulling it in and you're squeezing your lats. You're squeezing your traps at the same time. So there's another example of a compound movement for your back. Obviously when you're doing pull-ups as well, if you think about it, if you're doing wide grip pull-up, it's not just your back that you're working on this. You are technically using some of your shoulders. You're using your forearms, obviously, for grip. So you're going to train your forearms on that too. And obviously underarm, again, when you're pulling up, when you're coming through like so on the bar, you're going to work your lats, you're going to work your biceps as well. So there's a different, there's an example of compound movements. It's using it's using more than one exercise at a time. So, for example, on the first day of training, you do all your pushing movements, which is chest, shoulders, tris. Then your legs, okay, which is obviously your squats, bar on your shoulders, and front squats as well, and your calves. And then you've got all your pulling movements, which is your back and your biceps. So there's just a little example of compound training. It's something that I've included into my training now, and I try and do pretty much every single training session, with the exception of every now and then I'll mix it up and I'll just go in and I'll just do a solid 20 minutes on chest and a solid 20 minutes on abs. I mix it up. The whole thing about bodybuilding is to keep shocking the system and changing your routine. Otherwise your body adapts to it and you don't grow. You keep having to shock the body all the time. But compound training, it's a great way of making gains. Obviously if your diet is in track 2, there's a different video. But compound training, if you're tall and skinny, I really recommend trying compound training and just keep that going for 3 or 4 or 5 months. Keep increasing the weight, making sure your form is down 100%, and I guarantee you results. And no, I better not say that because you might sue me. I can definitely tell you that if you do it, you'll start seeing some gains. So until next time, guys, I hope this helps. Take care.